How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't posted in like a while now, probably like 2 weeks. Normally I don't really take this long of a break, but unfortunately I did have to deal with finals for my semester. I still do go to college, for some of you already know that. But I did just want to say thank you again for 2,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. I know it's a very small number. My channel is still really small when it comes to like YouTube nowadays, but it still is really awesome to think that 2,000 people out there actually have individually like subscribed to watch the videos that I actually put out there for you guys. So with that being said, today we have another automotive news video. Today we're going to be talking about Lotus, the future of Lotus, and some of the new models and the three really important models that they kind of just killed off recently. So looking at this article from Car and Driver, you can see the Lotus Elise, Exige, and Evora have all pretty much been finished. This is the final, I guess, year of production, and they pretty much had a, I guess, ceremony at one of their factories, and I don't know if they basically just made the last one from each of the cars, but yeah, they're pretty much all done. I know the Evora was basically going to be substituted out with the Emira, the new coming Emira, but yeah, it's really surprising that Lotus just decided to kind of cut all three of these cars at once. I know for the Elise and the Exige, they've been going on with these cars for a while now, and they've been talking about ending production for those two models, but the Evora still does kind of surprise me. And looking up top here, 26 years and over 51,000, just under 52,000 individual cars for these three models, which is pretty cool because I mean these three models have pretty much made up Lotus. Obviously Lotus is a very niche brand. They're a very car enthusiast brand, so not a lot of people in the kind of outside world really know about Lotus that much, but if they do know about it, it's because of these three cars pretty much. There's like nothing else. I don't want to say nothing else because Lotus does have a pretty strong history and a bunch of models previously they've, you know, manufactured, but in again the past 26 years, these three models have pretty much just been what Lotus is. So as stated right here, these three models pretty much make up almost half of the company's total production ever. So they again made up 51,738 units of actual sales, and Lotus is pretty much just, as they're abandoning this, they also said that they're going to be investing more into the electric future. Now obviously what they're talking about with that, I know for a fact, is Evija. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. If I am mispronouncing that, I'm probably gonna have to deal with that to the end of this video, honestly, because I don't really know the correct way to say that name, but we will talk about that more in a second. But the new Lotus Emira, which I actually had the pleasure to see it unveiled at Lotus of North Jersey in like a couple of weeks ago now, but I will be editing a couple clips from that night that I took you know, just into this video. And honestly, like, while I was walking around that car, it does look really cool, but it's pretty much just a facelifted Evora GT. It definitely looks a lot more sleeker and more modern and more supercar-esque when compared to the Evora GT. But the Toyota 3.5 liter V6, the supercharged V6 that's in it, is the same exact engine that's in the Evora GT, and it's actually supposed to be making a little bit less power than the Evora GT, which I find kind of odd. But actually looking on Lotus of North Jersey's website, you can see kind of quick specs for the Emira. It does have a max power 360 brake horsepower from factory, which is less than the 400 horsepower in the Evora GTs, or actually, yeah, no, 416 horsepower in the Evora GTs, excuse me. It does have a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds, a max speed of 180 miles per hour, and 317 foot-pounds of torque. And that is the V6 model. So they are also going to be coming out with a inline 4 model, so like kind of the base model of the Emira GT, and that is going to have an AMG turbo 4-cylinder engine in it. Again, still going to be mid-engine, and I believe outside of the engine, the transmission is going to be the same as well for both the automatic and the manual version of the car. And I do know that the Emira, I believe the base price is going to be right around 75,000 US dollars for the 4-cylinder AMG engine version of the car, or the variant of the car. And for the 6-cylinder Toyota, supercharged Toyota engine, that is going to be starting right at 95,000 US dollars, which again, the pricing is very, very similar to the current Lotus Evora GTs. And it really should be, because the drivetrain is pretty much, again, exactly the same from the Evora GTs to the Emira. The only real difference is it's a new kind of modern style with the car. So that is one of two kind of future models for Lotus that I really want to talk about today. And the second one is definitely going to be kind of the forefront of Lotus as a brand. I don't know when they're going to be fully coming out with this. Hopefully in the next couple years. I'm almost positive in the next couple years. But it is the, again, Evija or Evija. I don't know how to really pronounce it, but this car is going to be a pure electric hypercar. They're basically branding it as the first pure electric British hypercar ever made. And looking here again at Lotus of North Jersey's website, you can see the design is kind of similar to an Evora or an Emira, but going down to the performance section, you see where this car is just totally different. I think the kind of electric engine is still going to be like a mid-engine platform, I believe, but it's going to make a peak horsepower of 1972 brake horsepower, so just under 2000 horsepower, have a top speed of 200 miles per hour. It's going to have peak torque right at 1254 foot-pounds of torque, and to have a 0 to 60 time of 3.0 seconds flat. It's also going to have an electric range when fully charged of 250 miles, which is pretty convenient for a car with this type of performance spec. Now, I don't know how they're going to price this thing. Honestly, like with something like 2000 horsepower, and considering that it's going to be a hypercar, this could potentially be a 7-figure car, if not like even more than that. Like, I don't even know how much it's going to be priced. It could be 1 million US dollars. It could be $500,000 US dollars. It could be like 1.5 million US dollars. I honestly have no idea where Lotus is going to price this absolute beast. But two things that I really kind of find odd just looking at it, the top speed and the 0 to 60. So the top speed I kind of understand, because with pure electric vehicles, EVs, they're pretty much just like a one drive. They don't have any gears or anything like that. So I could potentially see the 200 miles per hour being its absolute top speed, and it can't go any higher than that. But still, with 2000 horsepower, I kind of find that a little bit odd. And then for the 0 to 60 mile per hour time, 3.0 seconds. Just to kind of put that in perspective for you, the Porsche GT2 RS, which I actually did a review on like last year, so if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link on top of the video right now. But that car, which has the production lap record at the Nürburgring, has a 0 to 60 of 2.7 seconds. And the new Tesla Plaid, which is around like 1000 horsepower and is also fully electric, I think has a 0 to 60 time of a sub 2 seconds, like at like 1.9 seconds. So the fact that this is 3 seconds flat, it kind of surprises me. Again, I don't know if this thing's gonna be rear wheel drive, all wheel drive. I don't know how, there's a lot of unknowns about this car, let's put it that way. But almost 2000 horsepower and almost 1300 foot-pounds of torque. I can almost guarantee you that this thing isn't gonna weigh a whole lot. And you're telling me it'll only do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat, which, mind you, is still blistering fast. But for something like that, with those specs, I just feel like it should be even a little bit quicker. So that's pretty much just gonna be it for today's video. Again, it's really sad to see the Evora, Elise, and Exige leave us, But fortunately, Lotus does have a lot of really good plans in the future with the new Emira and the Evija. If you made it to the end of this video, I'd like to hear you down in the comments below. Basically say which one of the Lotuses out of the Elise, Exige, and Evora you guys like the most and would be, you know, most sad kind of to see go. For me, it's definitely going to be the Lotus Elise. That's kind of the model that I grew up on, like early 2000s. Also, definitely be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out my channel a lot as a smaller YouTuber. But like always, guys, thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.